the quick release chemicals bypass the whole system. And then the plant learns it can be lazy. I don't need to put my sugar in the soil, and it stops doing that.
So it's like a stimulus package system, and then we got to pay for it later?
Right, exactly. It's like a balloon on your mortgage. Like, you're going to owe me big later, and you're not going to have it.
Yo, and we are back again. It is AJ with Hippie Fertilizing on the More Than Grass podcast. I'm back again with Jason. Jason with Healthy Soil Organics, that HSO. Dude, I'm super excited about all the experience that we have together.
Right.
Okay. You've really helped me learn a lot. You know, when I kind of like to bring this up sometimes is when we first met, we met right around the corner, right?
Right.
You were the only guy to show up to buy a couple bags of fertilizer from me.
I was.
And he was so big on the treat and defeat everything.
Yes.
Trying to convince me like every other day. Well, what if I use this, AJ? What if I use, but it says it's okay if I use this weed killer, right?
Right.
Oh,
safe.
Yeah.
It says it's safe for St. Augustine grass.
Right. You know,
what could go wrong?
I mean, bleach is safe to some degree too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No. and it, to me, I still find it really awesome that as you have went like 100% full force on what I like to call like the SSB train.
That's right.
You know,
Woo,
I have almost went just a shade in the other direction. And I say that because I used to really never care about killing weeds.
Right.
And now I'm like, okay, there's Fiesta Weed Killer. There's
demand. And you as a professional, like service provider, have demand for there to be low weed pressure on these lawns.
Right. And to find some sort of solutions. But I have been very strong on making sure that it still aligns with my values.
Right.
Right.
And we've seen some good results out of the Fiesta Weed Killer, which is based on iron, by the way. So at certain levels, iron can be toxic to weeds, but beneficial to the grass.
Correct.
And so in fine tuning that, we've found some very, acceptable, safe methods of what they call selective herbicide,
yes,
which means the things you don't want die, the things you do want thrive, and to do that with something that isn't going to harm or have any residual lasting impact, right? So that Fiesta Weed Killer being an iron-based product, it seems like I'll support you on it. I really want everyone to understand why I don't kill weeds. So number one, I was a hardcore, it should be perfect.
Well,
I think it should have no weeds. It should be this picture I've been sold by mainstream media of what a lawn should look like 12 months of the year on Instagram, which is not reality, by the way.
Yeah, it's a bunch of hogwash.
I mean, if it is, then it's very expensive. Okay.
Right.
So,
yeah. And even then, it's really not.
Weeds are very important native plants by and large. They're native plants. They're part of our natural ecosystem. They feed living things. And I've learned the importance of the full hierarchy of living things, from the earthworms to the birds, right? And understanding the importance of having all of those creatures present in your space. It's part of your micro ecosystem. Everyone's lawn is a micro ecosystem, and we live in it, and our health is forever impacted by that.
So I want to throw this word out there because I like this word a lot. And I think it's called a trophic cascade.
Okay.
A trophic cascade is like the food chain, right? But it's not as linear as we may think, right? There isn't necessarily like a top and a bottom of the food chain.
Right.
It is a very web connected thing.
Right.
Right. And that's called a trophic cascade.
Right.
I just like that word.
And there's certain of those plants are going to be able to dig deeper into the soil. Mm-hmm. I call them the oil derricks of nutrition.
Yeah.
So they can tap into the soil your grass can't get to. Now, in a St. Augustine lawn that's mowed nice and tall, if you're standing on the street street, which is where anyone's ever going to see your lawn, guys. If you're judging your lawn, go on the street where your neighbors drive by it. Judge it from over there. Don't stand and I see a weed right here and get nervous about that. No one's going to see that weed.
Oh my God.
When your grass stands nice and tall, it'll hide all those flaws. It's fine.
It's like we as people, but mostly I see this with ladies, right? You can be like, girl, you are gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. And she has this mirror in front of her that's like one of those magnifying mirrors. Right. And she's like, oh my God, I have all these pores. I'm like, no kidding, you're human. Everyone has pores. Duh.
Supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's natural. But the main thing we really want in that lawn is color, right?
Well, color, evenness. We don't want it to die.
Right. We want
That's
it to thrive.
Huge deal. We want it to be resilient.
Yes.
Things like that. So as we get into this resilience and health and everything like that, we're getting into fall.
Right.
So I like your analogy about like putting things to sleep on a full belly.
Right.
Right.
You want put your lawn to bed on a full stomach. And the main, so most people don't really consider how important it is to fertilize the lawn in the fall. And I like to teach this to them because our success next year really is going to depend on whether or not we put our lawn to bed with a full stomach. So
and your trees.
So
new trees.
If you're going to, we're going to definitely get into trees. But in the lawn itself, we want to feed it before it goes dormant. When the weather gets cooler, the grass slows down, it starts to go dormant. And once we hit January in Houston, that's when we actually hit that brown dormancy. And all the nutrition from the grass blades is actually sucked into the root zone as storage. So it's normal for the grass to go brown in January, guys. Don't freak out. That's normal. It should look like dark brown straw. It's okay. If especially it's been really cold for a month, like that's normal.
When we have those super cold snaps, but I generally really notice it. Yeah, especially like the dormancy evening out.
Yeah.
Of course, it's always like at the end of February.
Right.
Right. Is when we get the hardest cold snaps,
right.
It seems.
Right. And that's so the end of February is like where I start to know that's the end of our cold weather. We always get a freeze somewhere the last few weeks of February here.
Sometimes very beginning of March.
Sometimes it's that very first week of March, but that's when I want to start the spring cycle, right? But if we put our lawn to bed with a full stomach, then as soon as those temperatures warm up, as soon as the soil gets above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when the microbes start to live again. They're no longer asleep. They're now awake. The whole system starts to spring. And the first thing that springs are weeds. Okay, so if you don't want to have big spring weed pressure, now they're going to die. They can't take the heat.
No,
they come early. They leave early
anyway.
Right? Okay. They're temporary visitors. Right?
Leave that stuff alone.
Right. But if we put our lawn to bed with a full stomach, it's going to come back faster. Mm-hmm. And the faster we can get it to come back, the more weed pressure we'll be able to avoid.
And the shorter amount of time we'll have that weed pressure too.
Right.
Because our lawn will be like choking it out.
Right.
Again.
Start to choke it out again. So, that thing. And then again, like we were saying about trees. So, this summer we had, Hurricane Beryl came through and took out a lot of trees.
Oh, boy.
So if you're going to replant, November is the best month of the year from all of the arborists that I know through OBA. November is the month to plant trees in Houston because they have all winter to establish their roots. And then when the temperatures warm the same way, the tree has established itself. So now you'll actually get a good spring bloom on the tree.
Not only that, November is a really great time because it's cooled down a whole lot, but it's still warm enough for the tree biology to be plenty active.
Right.
And it gives it like a good month, 6 weeks, 2 months before we get a serious cold snap. So it helps it be more resilient to that first cold snap it's going to experience too.
Right.
Which is it's a game changer. Right. Yes, you don't want to plant a tree right before freeze.
Right.
Right. Just like the only thing I would say
we rarely freeze in November though.
Right. The only thing I would say you could for sure do right before a freeze, and I've proven this, is you could do a sod installation the day before a freeze. I guarantee you that grass is going to turn yellow. You throw some Humates Plus, some hybrid on it, you spray it with some molasses. It'll bounce back and look better than you could ever imagine. So don't fret. Like the winter time, and I'm sorry to kind of interject here, but just like you said, November is so great for trees.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that summertime is the best time for sod installations.
Okay. That
is complete bogus. It's hot, it's hard, it's stressful. The best time for sod installations is also in the winter, October, November, December, but doesn't matter.
Have I ever told you my thoughts about sod?
Huh? No.
So I'm going to tell you my thoughts about sod, guys.
Let me hear them, dude.
The sod's expensive, guys.
It's...
So here's the truth. So resiliency, you and I both agree, is a very important thing.
Every day.
So instead of sodding your lawn, I encourage everyone who, if you're going with St. Augustine, use the plugs. And here's why. Okay, don't use sod, do plugs. And here's why. You want that lawn.
So should you plug it out of your own lawn?
If you can, oh man, use grass that's in your lawn. Here's why. Okay. So a sod farm is a wide open space,
full sun,
fed with chemicals its whole life, and born and bred on chemistry.
So very particular,
right? So it doesn't have an established relationship with soil,
which also means it doesn't have an established relationship with your local microbes,
right? So when they bring that to your lawn, now it has to adapt, and it's almost always a struggle. And that grass wasn't,
unless you're throwing down some Humates Plus.
All right, you definitely, anyone who wants to put in sod, put down the Healthy Soil Organic Summer Lawn Bundle before you put in sod, and you will have much better results. Period.
You could even throw down hybrid underneath brand new sod, and it'll be fine. Never look like it.
I really like the foundation of nutrition you get from the multi-purpose and the Humates Plus. Personally, I find we want to encourage good root development. We want good remineralization at the base of that soil.
True, but you throw down a high quality, slow release nitrogen like urea methylene and Nutriline, which are one and the same, essentially.
Yes, they are.
I just know from years and years of experience, because before I started Hippie Fertilizing, I was doing sod installation.
Right.
And I would do sod installations in the winter, and I started throwing hybrid underneath the sod. It would be the only green lawn in the area.
Well, here's the reason I like to use plugs. When you use a plug, the grass the bulk of your grass will have grown and picked where it's going to root on its own. It will establish itself in your lawn. Okay. And the plant that grows there is a new plant. So the majority of your lawn will have grown and been born and raised in your lawn. And if you follow our advice with the microbial diversity, the soil foods, the way we preach embracing soil, that plant, the majority of that plant matter will be born in that lawn on those microorganisms. So it will be thicker skinned grass. Okay, so grass grown on chemical fertilizers has a very thin skin. It's grown quickly, but it doesn't grow robustly. It grows with a thin skin and a low Brix level. So that's the sugar content of the plant.
Right.
The higher the Brix level of the plant matter, the more poisonous it is to pest insects. So if we grow grass, if we put down blanket sod, it's more expensive and it's more prone to chinch bugs than grass that was grown organically the way we teach on that lawn, because it'll have too high a Brix level. It'll poison the chinch bugs because that sugar in the plant poisons the pest insect. And this is proven science.
Well, not only, you're absolutely right, it's proven science, but as you know from working with me and now very much so doing your own, you've done your own top dressings.
I have.
Right? For your own clients, you've done it on your own lawn, so on and so forth. I guarantee you 9.9 times out of 10, we can bring back your lawn with, kind of a similar methodology that he's talking about in our lawn top dressing kind of things.
Right.
That are a fraction of the price of resodding.
Right. I would rather invest in really healthy soil improvement, which is going to give us longevity.
What I like to call lawn restoration.
Yes. I love to restore the soil to a very high quality soil profile because that's lasting. I want to put my money where it's going to last, right?
Just like money where your grass is.
Right. So in like water soluble fertilizers, 90% of it goes right down the drain. It's water, dissolves in water, washes away, doesn't stay.
Okay, I'll debate with you about that a little bit.
Now, our methylated urea, our Neutralines, those are a little different. They're slower release.
In the products that I use as well, like I like to use this Organics Blue Sky. A predominant part of what's in there is methylene urea, just in a liquid form.
Right.
Right. And when you're doing your application correctly, it's going to get absorbed into the plant. Right. And so if you're integrating things that improve soil carbon, you, quite honestly, to play devil's advocate here, are going to capture that nitrogen and fertilizer and retain that nutrient a lot.
But most of those like commercial fertilizers don't have carbon in them.
No, a huge majority.
Especially like if you're looking for that one and done weed and feed type product, like that's not going to get you there.
And if it says 3-in-1, you better run, son. Okay.
Right.
That is definitely bogus.
Right. That's why, amending soil conditioning and putting in slow release foods that feed the microbiome that then have to feed the plant. So the roots of a plant have to exchange carbohydrates with the microbiome for the nutrition it needs.
Yes.
It's a capitalistic system. No sugar, no food. No food, no sugar. They have to find balance with each other.
And it's a very fair trade system.
Unless we put a chemical. Because the quick release chemicals bypass the whole system. And then the plant learns it can be lazy. I don't need to put my sugar in the soil, and it stops doing that.
So it's like a stimulus package system, and then we got to pay for it later.
Right, exactly. It's like a balloon on your mortgage. Like you're going to owe me big later, and you're not going to have it because it's going to get hot, and the soil won't help you.
Yeah, there will be very few carbs, which is something that kind of still circulates in my head as an eyebrow raiser. Like, plants need carbs. Weird.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And that's so funny. That's what the whole chlorophyll photosynthesis system does.
Well, and going back to what you're talking about before of putting the lawn or your plants to bed on a full stomach.
Right.
Like Humates Plus will do this. Probably even acidifier, quite a few of these. I know Nelson's Plant Food makes what they call Carboload, right? And these fall fertilizers, that is kind of the basis of that, is to carb up your lawn as we go into fall. And it took me a long time to really get into that, because I don't know if you remember, I was almost against like fall fertilizing myself.
Right.
I thought that was marketing BS.
And you were like, I feel like I'm feeding the weeds, because I felt like a lot of times you would tell me these lawns that are getting all this fall fertilizer are just weed patches every spring. And that is possible.
Well, the other thing too is I hadn't been in it as long as I am now. And when I first got in it, I was predominantly known for like restoring lawns, right? Now I've gotten way better at, there's a difference between I got to bring your lawn back.
Right.
And I have to maintain it.
Right. There's such a difference between like remediating issues and then like a good ongoing maintenance schedule of bringing the proper nutritional elements on a routine basis. Right.
And so I've seen now, and I saw this really the most last year. I had so many lawns that stayed beautiful, even all winter.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I did embrace more of the approach of fall fertilizer, right? Whereas in the past, I never did, or I would do the same thing, or I would do way too much to a regular lawn because my mentality was like, I'm going to do the same thing to this healthy lawn that I did to restore the lawn. I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And using stuff like the Humates Plus or a couple other products out there made such a big difference on the consistency of the lawn, which I really want to bring up now. Microlife's new product.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this what is it?
Mycorrhizal Plus.
Yeah. This bad boy?
Yeah. It's like Super Humates Plus
With
silica.
With silica.
Right.
I'm really excited about this. So this is one product that has, you know, some very well-known things in it, and there's becoming more and more information out there about the importance of silica in plants and what it does to help protect the plant, to help increase resilience.
Right.
Right. And there's other products out there on the market that also have silica. I use a few different things, like M-Pro. And if you're looking for like a liquid application, what you want to look for is monosillic acid.
Yeah, so the liquid Humates Plus has it too. Right.
Has the monosillic acid.
Yes.
Which, now I'm just throwing something way out here. Okay.
Yeah.
I was told a long time ago, and I almost want to play with this idea sometimes, is putting, now in some products, there's rice hulls
Right.
in it for soil amendment. Well, rice, if I'm not mistaken, has silica content in it.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's even good for our health. Like, it's something that I never was aware of before, but now that of course I'm always digging into something new,
Right.
you know, or trying to find out how to improve the process.
Right.
When you look up soil health, you inadvertently will find out about human health.
Right.
Right.
Because we're connected.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of the things really match up. Do you know that even in your own body, silica content is responsible or plays a role in the health of your arteries? Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but that's really cool to know. I'm going to have to dig into that now.
Your heart, your vascular structure, things like that can be vastly changed by your own silica content.
Okay.
Now, just like with any other product, right? We can make arguments of like, well, I heard silica is bad for you. Yes, I'm not saying go eat the little freaking packets that are in your tennis shoes.
It's probably not good for your lungs, right?
No,
like that's not what we're saying.
But it's all in the form,
right?
Too, right? There's many different forms,
right?
Silica is like, I think the fourth most abundant mineral on Earth.
Yep. Very important to technology. We wouldn't have it without it.
Right.
Right.
But what the form that they're using in technology versus the form that is in your plants, vastly different.
Right.
So yeah, Microlife came out with this Mycorrhizal Plus.
Yes.
All right.
Now available in a 40-pound bag for the first time, which is really exciting.
Which is going to have that silica content.
Yep. Yep.
Which is going to help with drought resilience.
Yes. It has the full microbial package on it, but this blend has 8 times as much mycorrhizal blend in it as Humates Plus. So it's a lot more what they call propagules of the microbial blend in this mix. So you're getting a much more robust inoculation when you put this one down. So it's like, I like to call it like Super Humates Plus. Like if you really have, if we're in that, we need to restore something, I would far recommend this over regular Humates Plus. Regular Humates Plus, you and I both agree, is one of the greatest soil conditioners on the market.
Yes.
And it's affordable. It's just a great product. I recommend we use it every spring and summer on every lawn.
And I use it on a predominant amount of my lawn restoration services.
Right.
Because it helps push forward the effects that I want with the lawn and help remediate generally all the junk that was done to it.
Right. So this will be like that little bit extra, that supreme blend of Humates Plus that'll take it just that one notch higher. So in the remediation stage, I might even highly recommend we go with this one. It's just a few dollars more a bag.
Well, now that this one's out, I need to get some bags from you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So don't forget.
We'll take care of it.
Right.
That's right.
Because I want to use the best stuff out there, right? I want to provide y'all with the best information that I can come up with. And the Humates Plus has been, tested and proven not only by so many other people, but by myself on so many freaking lawn restoration that you've seen firsthand. You've been a part of them.
Right.
Been watching the results for the last 6 years.
Yes. And in my customers' lawns, it's a key factor in that recovery process.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try the Mycorrhizal Plus.
Great.
And anything now that has silica in it, I'm getting a little more excited about that. Because I started using stuff with it last year.
Okay.
And I noticed such a big difference on lawns in its drought resilience. Right. And it's supposed to even help with pest resilience because it creates tighter bonds in the plant, like cellular function.
Right.
So stuff is less likely to get in there and penetrate and cause a problem.
We get that more robust, I call it the thicker skin.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. And it fills the gaps of the skin. So I'm super excited about that. And to kind of swing back for just a moment, we had a nasty summer last year. Our trees took a hit. Okay. Right. We just had a hurricane. Our trees took a hit.
Another hit.
Like a big one, right? From another whole force factor. And the seasons, we're not out of the water yet, so to speak.
Right.
So it might take another hit. So as we move forward into fall, that we're going to get there before we know it, even though we still got this 100-degree weather, it's coming. Like, let's drive this home that fall is the best time to really start your remediation process.
Yep.
Your planting process, whether it's trees.
Right.
Or sod. But I have seen my own personal experience, like my neighbor, his lawn has died a few different times and he brought it back with plugs from grass from his backyard.
Yeah.
And dude, last year his lawn was better than mine all freaking year.
Yeah. So grass, I mean, if you're getting grass that's accustomed to the conditions of your lawn, it's naturally going to do better. And if you just buy plugs and plug the lawn instead of sodding it and let it establish, the majority of the plant matter, it's going to have a thicker skin. It's going to be more resilient from the get-go.
For your personal ecosystem.
Right. For you, it's grown in your space, on your soil, with your light, your rain, your seasons. And
your environment.
Right. And so it just seems to me that be a better path forward. It does take some more patience. It's not like instantly beautiful, but.
Yeah. Jason, dude, thank you so much for coming out. I really love, this back and forth that we're able to have and adding to the value of what we put out there. How can they find you?
HealthySoilOrganics.com. Check us out. We're on the web, and we're also on Facebook, Instagram, X.com, Pinterest, LinkedIn. We're out there. We're publishing content all the time, trying to educate. We'll provide you with a free in-lawn consultation with anything we deliver. So check us out. We're always here. We're happy to help, and we wish you the best in your lawn.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, show that you care, leave a comment, and remember, nobody knows grass like a hippie. We'll see you soon. Peace.